I think we can use the Uniform Code of Military Justice and the military courts, which are very much a home court advantage, and we can hold up to the rest of the world that we're giving these detainees the same due process we give our own troops when they're brought up on court-martial charges. Nothing more and nothing less. That is, I think, a good balance.
That was Adam Schiff, Congressman Adam Schiff, in 2009, in a video that very few people have seen, expressing his deep, deep concern for the due process of terrorists? Yeah, something to keep in mind as he promotes second and third hand hearsay during his impeachment inquiry. So now let's watch some more of Adam Schiff expressing his deep concern for the due process of terrorists.
Back in 2002, some months after 9/11 and the initiation of military activities in Afghanistan, I introduced legislation to establish a set of due process that we could live with at Guantanamo. There was no interest in the GOP Congress in having a hearing on that bill or any other. There was no interest in the Republican administration in working with the Congress on dealing with the legal tangle that was being created at Guantanamo. Over the years since I've introduced other legislation, I've asked for hearings. I've asked the administration, the then Bush administration, to work with Congress on legislation that would set up due process that could actually survive in our court system. There was never a single hearing. There was no willingness or interest on the administration's part in working with Congress, and on Congress's part, there was no interest in working with the administration. We in Congress were only too happy to defer this ugly, messy problem to the executive and say, let them handle it. And the result was we've had years of conflicting court decisions, and the Supreme Court has struck down time after time what the administration was doing in the legal process at Guantanamo. And now, we have a new president who's been in office for a few months, who has inherited a legal tangle the likes of which I don't think we've ever seen. I think there are ways to get around this, none of them very good. One of them that I proposed in legislation that I would recommend for Mr. Wolf for his consideration would establish and expand upon the use of military courts-martial to make new status determinations and to prosecute people that we have the evidence to prosecute. That court system, I think, is better than the federal district court system, and I think it's better than creating a new national security court. And I've been talking with the same working group of the administration comprised of Defense Department people and State Department people and Justice Department people. They are doing exactly what they should be doing right now, what we want them to be doing, which is doing a case-by-case review of every single detainee and trying to figure out what the disposition should be. There are some big unanswered questions, and the clock is running. They've set the goal of closing Guantanamo at the end of the year.
Somehow, I don't think, despite the Democrats holding the White House, the Congress, and the Senate in 2009, somehow, I don't think they ever reached that goal of closing down Guantanamo, despite promising it over and over again during the 2008 campaign.
They're going to have to decide, do we give new status determinations to people? Do we give any respect whatsoever to what the Bush status tribunals did, or do they have to be de novo reviews? Are we going to prosecute them? Where are we going to prosecute them? What are the rules of evidence going to be? I think we can use the Uniform Code of Military Justice and the military courts, which are very much a home court advantage, and we can hold up to the rest of the world that we're giving these detainees the same due process we give our own troops when they're brought up on court-martial charges. Nothing more and nothing less. I think we can use the Uniform Code of Military Justice and the military courts, which are very much a home court advantage, and we can hold up to the rest of the world that we're giving these detainees the same due process we give our own troops when they're brought up on court-martial charges. Nothing more and nothing less. That is, I think, a good balance.
And speaking of due process, did you know that due process allows the Senate, if the House approves impeachment, that the Senate will be allowed to call upon testimony from Adam Schiff and ask him about his connection with the whistleblower. That, Mr. Schiff, that's due process.
Subscribe to the Dummy Funnies now!
And don't forget to hit that notification bell